third episode of Ash vs. Evil Dead, entitled Books from Beyond. Whenever we last left our heroes, they were trying to get to the aforementioned Books from Beyond, which Ash believed was going to hold some sort of answer to how they were going to be able to press the universal undo button. So they were going to learn a lot of things while they were there. A lot about the book, especially how it was manifested. It was manifested apparently in a very loose-based fashion. It was formed and made by a bunch of Jawas that are apparently really, really evil. They tortured a bunch of people, used their skin in order to make a book. The book, of course, now is pure evil, and you're able to summon stuff from the underworld. It's a gateway portal to hell, and you can bring it up to Earth, and whenever it comes to an off button, there really isn't one that's known. So instead of an off button, the best way in which to try to understand how to have there be an off button is to summon a demon that is more all about being knowledgeable, or is more of a psychological demon, which of course Ash thinks means that he's some sort of big demon nerd or a mouse demon. He's summoned, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of Silent Hill that's sort of floating around. Dude's kind of gross looking. Dude looks like he could probably bite your face off. And he also controls the mind after the circle is broken. Oh, you didn't know there was a circle? Yeah, it was kind of right out of Supernatural. And yeah, the bookkeeper, the only man who could read the book, is no longer with us. May he rest in peace, bookkeeper. You were the man, you were the myth, you were the legend, you were the only man that could read the book, and all of a sudden now you're gone. Oh no! So somehow the trio of terror now needs to outsmart super psychological demon, which they're able to accomplish by literally throwing the book at him. And the policewoman Fisher, Detective Fisher, finally does catch up with Ash, thinks that he's bad, then convinces Kelly that she's good, that they're on the same side, only to screw things up and cause this demon to get loose, and yeah. Did you get all that? I hope you got all that. I recognize that on the last episode, there were a little bit too many spoilers. There's a little bit in there, but hopefully done in a fashion that encourages you to check out the show, and encourages you to check out the episode instead of spoon-feeding you the plot. This is an episode where some of the effects that we've seen on the previous two start to amplify a little bit. You start to recognize that there is care being put into the show. And this is the first out of all of them where the humor sort of took a little bit of the back seat as opposed to trying to maintain story. There were a couple of great examples of where the humor still shows up, and overall it still proves to be a seminal part of the show. However, it is not really the centralized piece. It's instead watching the three characters kind of sort of begin their bonding process, or in this case, bond it even further. One of the funniest parts that you're going to see in this episode that's very spoil-worthy is the fact that Kelly now sees Pablo as sort of a little brother. That's how much she trusts him. If this doesn't make you immediately yell at the television screen, "You've just been friend-zoned," then I don't know what planet you're living on. The story of this is becoming more intriguing, considering it seems that with every option that becomes unavailable or disposed of, another one seems to present itself. And while there is a thin layer of hope that's sort of being maintained within the characters' minds and hearts, you can definitely tell that they are bonding together because they're really not too sure what's going to lie beyond the next corner, really. We're also starting to notice that Lucy Lawless is getting very, very close. She's drawing in, and she clearly has a bit of a bone to pick with Ash and really wants to, meet up with him and discuss some things. So this is an episode also that I think really displayed the capabilities, technically, that the first two episodes sort of begun the illumination process of, but this episode showcases that they were going to be, the crew is willing to use a lot of great CG effects in order to really make some of the horrors come to life, including using fragments of glass and throwing it and thrusting it at an individual. Some of them can look a little bit campy, but I think many people need to understand that that's a little bit of the style that they are going for, alongside of the very professional and very gory style that you saw from the Evil Dead motion picture from a couple of years ago in 2013. So that little mixture of kind of the campy horror from the 1970s and the modern gore fest that you get here in the 2000s is one of the staples of this series that continues to showcase itself. As a story is concerned, this is very focused in one area largely, and it commands the attention very well. One of the benefits, I think, of these being half-an-hour episodes is that the pace never slows down. Because of that, the pace, even though it is in a static location, continues to morph and continues to sort of get things done, as opposed to there being a tremendous and maybe overbearing amount of dialogue or unnecessary character development that can sometimes be seen in shows such as The Walking Dead, where they seem to really hype up a minor character only to eventually watch their demise become real. Rest in peace, Pablo, we'll never forget. But in all, once again, this just goes to show you that Ash vs. the Evil Dead has a certain way of intriguing you. While it doesn't necessarily give you all of the pieces of the upcoming puzzle, or really even where all of these places are going to lead up to in the long run, the journey is just as fun as the final destination. So it's an intriguing show that continues to beg you to come back each and every week. And you should. What did you think about this episode? What do you think about this show? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll return and talk with you next week about episode 4 of Ash vs. the Evil Dead, only on Starz. See ya.